All right, everybody. Scott Pierce here with Yi Gong at Listings to Leads. Welcome to the call today on open house marketing for buyers and sellers. Whether it's your listing you're holding open or you're going to borrow a listing, we're going to walk through how to get buyers and sellers. And in fact, we have got a client who just in the last few hours sent me a couple of text messages from his open house that he did this weekend. I helped this client a little bit with his open house marketing and making sure everything is good to go, because I like to try to practice what we preach here and make sure that I've got at least a couple of clients that are doing this so that I can share with you the right kind of success so that you're going to get buyers and sellers. So Yi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
And let's just dive right in. We have about an hour, so we have a lot to cover.
We have a ton to cover. So everybody that is on the call, as you come in, go ahead and type in where you're coming in from. Love to hear your brokerage and the city and state that you're coming in from. And if you're a Listings to Leads client or not, doesn't really matter. I'd love to talk to everybody here that's with us. But check this out. So this is literally in the last 4 to 5 hours today from an open house yesterday using Listings to Leads. So the open house was full the entire 2.5 hours. Picked up a couple of buyers that have a home to sell. One will work with me. So we got a buyer, we got a seller right there. One will give me a listing appointment, but they've got a friend in real estate. All right. That is fine. I'm sure he'll get it. He'll put that listing into Listings to Leads, create that 100-point home marketing plan, which we'll talk a little bit about today. So he'll probably get that listing as well. And then check this. This is, I tell you, I almost love this quote the best. Still making calls, enjoying the day. When is the last time a lot of you have said those two things together? Still making calls, enjoying the day. Let me know if you want to get on a testimonial for your webinar. I believe I am on a breakout point because we are working together. And now here's the thing. I'm working together with all of you. All right. All of you are working together with me if you're following the training and you're doing what we're talking about, because that is exactly what he is doing. He's not doing anything different than what I am training on here. We're going to walk through the open house marketing checklist. We're going to walk through the open house mastery, and we're going to make sure you got that open house marketed to generate a ton of leads, to get a lot of people to it. And then while they're there, to engage them so that you get the same success he did. And I'll tell you, this is not the first open house that he's done where he's got multiple buyers with homes to sell. He did one 3 weeks ago and had almost the exact same results. He got 2 buyers that had homes to sell from that one also, and he did it again. And here's the cool thing. Now that he's doing it multiple times, he's getting better at those conversations, right? The first time you go through an open house or you do it this way, you may be a little bit rickety. You may be a little bit unsure of yourself. But if you keep at it and you keep consistent and you do open houses every week, yours are borrowed, you're going to get to the point where you're coming out of that open house. If you don't have a buyer and or a seller from the open house, you're going to be disappointed. And so we want you to make sure you're getting these results every single time. And even better, check this out. He literally just had this conversation this afternoon with a $1 to $2 million buyer from the open house ad and a $2 million buyer. And he goes, so nice, a 20-minute conversation. And he told me in another text, he goes, she was really nice. And I kind of teased him. I said, what do you mean? She didn't yell at you for calling her up? And he goes, Scott, no. He goes, it was really nice.
Aww.
So yeah. And this is not the first open house with these kind of results. He had very, very similar, almost eerily similar. In fact, I posted in the mastermind group. If you go into the mastermind group from about a week or two ago, you'll see a similar type of post. Same client, open house. And again, got 2 buyers with homes to sell from that open house. So absolutely awesome stuff right there. Jane, good to see you. Cindy, awesome. Texas, Arizona, Palm Beach, Jason Jones, nice to see you. Kristen, excellent. All right, perfect.
We have the whole country covered. So before you go into the details, I want to ask you why we keep emphasizing on open house and what do you see people are doing wrong?
Well, we keep emphasizing the open houses because, like what Gordon said, I can't work with everybody. But what I can do is work with 1 or 2 people that I've known for a while so that we got a great relationship. And then from that, extrapolate and take that to all of you and to let you know, hey, have the confidence in what we're doing here. Have the confidence in what you're doing. You may not get it right the first time. It may not be perfect the first one or two times. But if you just do this consistently, along with all the other stuff that we got in listings to leads, you're going to see results like this. This is not a cherry picked
Case.
result out of
Yeah.
100 people, right?
We see that all the time
Yeah.
when people follow the playbooks.
Yeah.
See, a lot of real estate agents think they know open house is all about. They've had experience, but they do it day in, day out without great results, and they keep doing it. Okay,
Yeah. Even in
that's all.
2025, right? We go to
Yeah.
open houses. You're talking earlier about an open house that you were at this past weekend.
Yeah. Oh, we have this top producer in our neighborhood. I remember like about 6 weeks ago, they were preparing, like moving out all the furniture, all that. But you know what? In 6 weeks' time leading to the open house, I never got a nearby homeowner letter. I never got anything in the mail. She's never done a neighborhood like preview. I thought that's a great listing for a neighborhood preview, but she
Yeah,
never did
it would have been.
anything. I
Yeah.
still don't know how much it is. There's not a sign writer. I can't do a QR code scan and find out what the value of the house. She's losing all these opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And I can't believe it. And she's a top producer. So
Yeah.
just because you're a top producer, that doesn't mean you conduct all these open houses effectively. And imagine how
Right.
many listings you have lost because she
Yeah.
didn't do it right. But
Well, and here's the deal.
yeah,
There's a reason why he had a nice conversation. There's a reason why he's enjoying the day. And that's
right.
because he's putting himself out there. So he does the open house marketing. Again, we're going to bring in a lot of leads. Let's just say 100 leads to make it simple and totally within reason. Out of the 100 leads, maybe 20 show up. I think he said like around 30 people came through, but let's just say 20 people show up. So now
Yeah,
you got 100 leads to follow up with, 20 people that you're face to face with, that they're able to see the kind of value that you add, which you will following our training right here. They're going to see the kind of opportunity they've got to work with you, which you're going to see as we walk through this here together. And you're going
yeah,
to start having much better conversations with these people that you're following up with. So it's not going to be like some crazy stranger that's never doing something in the community. So open houses are just by far the best way to start getting buyers and sellers fast. And if you're trying to get, if you're sitting there doing a deal every month, or even if you're doing 4 to 5 deals a month, and you just want to fine tune and, get that better and tighter and easier, then this is what you want to be doing. All right.
right.
As many times, and even I'll tell you what, Memorial Day weekend is coming up. That can be an absolutely fantastic time to do an open house. All right. Maybe earlier on Sunday, maybe do it on Saturday, but people
Yeah.
may have family and friends in town that want to move to the area to be closer to the family. So I always, when I was an agent and I worked with one of the top producers in San Francisco, at first I thought it sucked because he would say, Scott, every holiday weekend, we are doing open houses because the people that come through an open house on the weekend are usually more motivated than
Mm,
average.
right,
All
right.
right. So I would say lean into, now it may be a bust. I don't know. Maybe your area could be a little bit different, but I would, especially if you're newer to this, I would definitely do an open house this weekend, even if it's only for you to get better for the next time. All right.
All right, let's go.
So what I did here, this is a brand new blog post. I want you to go to listingleads.com/blog at the end of this call, and you're going to see this post at the top. And again, this post is titled "The Open House Marketing and Mastery Calendar for Buyers and Sellers." And what I have done is I did a day-by-day breakout on what I would recommend that you do starting Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday at the latest. All right. If you haven't started marketing your open house by Wednesday, you're starting to miss out on a lot of opportunity. So assuming
Mhm.
that you start marketing the open house on Monday, and if you start Tuesday, that's fine. Just rearrange the stuff so that you still get it done. But we're going to walk through doing the Facebook ad, and we're going to do a $50 minimum, and we're going to have that ad end by the end of the open house. You'll do a social media post. So we're going to post all of our socials. We're going to use the tools for the seller. Who is that client that we were talking about earlier?
Eric Pearson,
Mm,
the founder, CEO of Pearson Smith Realty, who's been with the listings leads for 14 years. When he first started, solo agent, like he said, he didn't know anything about real estate. But you know what he did? He bought listings to leads as his first tech product. The best thing he ever did.
Yeah.
He was he said he was so impressed with the share on sellers social media because nobody was doing that. And
Well, yeah, and he
the
was able
ability
to
to
connect with a
reach.
lot of the seller sphere of influence for
Exactly.
using these
Yeah.
tools. So,
And and just, he now has 1,400 agents under him
yeah.
14 years later.
Yeah. Can everybody hear us? Jane says she can't hear anything. Just want to make sure everybody hears us okay. And is this something? Yes, this is definitely something you would do with somebody else's listing. This is something, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, Jane. So hold tight on that idea. But yes, whether it is your listing or a borrowed listing, it doesn't really matter. It really does not matter. We can do all of this stuff. All right. So then we're going to talk about doing shorts. All right. And we're going to break out our shorts. So we're not going to do a big short form video, all right, and blow out everything in one video. We're gonna piece that through and making sure that we've got a lot of great content throughout the
Mhm.
entire week, right? Because I'd rather do 5 shorts than one. Now we're gonna do even more than 5, but you get the idea. Then we're also gonna make sure we get our sign writers and our listing flyers. So I'm gonna be talking about, all right, making sure we get this up on that yard sign. Even if it's not your listing, you're going to want to ask the listing agent to put something up like that, because I want all of the neighbors to know that we have an open house coming up. And if you can get the listing flyers on that yard sign as well, along with the text to part of the sign writer. So we'll be talking about that
Yeah,
on
like sign
Tuesday.
writers are like one of the most cost-effective ways to get buy and seller leads.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And they're usually higher quality. You get the phone
yeah.
number every time. So to not leverage your yard sign for leads is missing a massive opportunity. Think of all the people that are out walking their dogs, walking with their family, just driving, back and forth across the, in front of the property every morning, every evening, throughout the day. And if your yard sign is not advertising the open house, you're
Mhm.
missing so much opportunity. You really are. We're going to do another short here. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and we're going to focus on the living room. And I got examples of all of this stuff right here. Oh, and I didn't mention here. So also Tuesday, that's the day we're going to hit up our database. So we're going to send an email invitation to our database for the open house. And we're also going to call through some of our top leads to invite them personally, both buyer leads and if we have any seller leads or homeowner leads in particular around that listing, we want to
Mhm.
make sure to invite them too. So another great opportunity, another opportunity that most people miss and a lot of people absolutely waste, right? Imagine to have essentially a activity where you're going to be right in the neighborhood and to not invite homeowners to that open house, especially homeowners in your database, you're
Mhm.
so missing out on a massive opportunity. Wednesday, we're going to do another short. So again, think Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to focus on the kitchen. Again, I got examples of all of this I'll be sharing with you. Thursday, we're going to use the nearby homeowner letter, and we're going to invite all the neighbors to the open house. Now, if you're going to do a neighborhood preview, all right, Dustin Fox, the author of I got the book right here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe 6 Weeks to Real Estate Success, right? Awesome book right there. He would use the nearby homeowner letter to invite the neighbors to the Friday evening preview. But if you're not doing a neighborhood preview, you'll use that letter to invite them to the regular public open house Saturday or Sunday. Friday, we'll do another short. We're going to focus on the backyard. So if they got a barbecue or a pool, we're going to talk about and highlight that. Saturday, we're going to do another reel. All right. We're going to talk about the short form video script that's in Listings to Leads. We'll be using that. And then Sunday, we're going to do the open house, of course. And we're going to do another short form video about the open house setup, about, a little bit of behind the scenes of you setting up the open house. We're
Mhm.
going to do another one after the open house. Will be kind of an open house post summary, right? Again, another little bit of a behind the scenes kind of a thing. And then you're going to send a video text message to all of the open house visitors that came through and signed in on the open house sign in form. So
Can I
this is again listingtoleads.com/blog. And if you're watching the recording of this down the road sometime in the future, just search for the daily open house marketing and mastery calendar. And there's a link right here. And we're going to get to that link a little bit later in this call, but you can access that link and it's got a lot more detail on all of these items and more.
Scott, how do you
Yes.
say to these agent who would say, "Oh my God, that is so many different short form videos I have to post, and my client's gonna get mad at me." How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, you can record all the videos at once while you're, setting, while you're at the property at some point. So, it's not like you're going to go to the house and record each video separately on that day. So, at some point before the open house, go to the property, right? Set it up with the seller if you need to. Now, if you're not the listing agent, it might be a little bit harder to access that, but I'll give you an idea for that a little bit later here. But if you are the listing agent, set up a time with the seller that you're going to come by, take a couple videos. And, it could be as simple as you taking your camera and just going like this in the living room and in the kitchen and the backyard in the front of the house. And I'll show you some examples very similar to that. So I don't want you to be thinking of what's this long, drawn out,
Process.
scripted video that I have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
It can be a 6-second clip like this of the front of the house. And we're going to be talking about including a poll, including links to either the single property website or maybe do a PDF guide for home buyers. So not only are we going to be promoting the open house this way, but we're going to be providing value and education through the tools that you've got in Listings to Leads. And I'll be walking you through that as well. All
Okay.
right. Now at the blog, one more thing here. I want you to find this post right here. Struggling with Facebook ads, how to unlock 8 to 14x ROI secrets. And this was a call that we did last week from a client over the last 10 weeks who has closed two deals in contract. So that's 4 deals. 4 more are out pre-qualified looking at homes and more leads in conversation. So he's already at 8x ROI. He's at 14 in the pipeline, and he's got more coming down the pipe. And if you scroll here, you're going to see this was the hour-long, essentially like an interview that we did with him. And I really want you to take a look at this because for a lot of you, you'll do a Facebook ad here and there, and you'll do this kind of an ad and that kind of an ad. And I don't want you wasting your time and your money. All right. Your time and your money are both precious commodities. All right. For me, it's both. All right. I don't have a lot of time to waste. And so if I were to start doing something and I just, and in fact, as this client was talking about, he said he wasted his time dipping his toes into things. And I think for a lot of us, we have that problem where we're not sure about how to do something. So we're going to try it out. Right. Well, that's the best way to really waste a lot of time and money. So I want you to watch this webinar. If you are not getting 1 to 2 deals a month from Facebook ads, watch this webinar. You heard from the first client, Gordon, who I was talking about regarding the open house, killing it. All right. This is another agent. All right. But they're doing the right thing the right way. And so watch this for Facebook ads. If you scroll down here, here's right, $1.98 per lead. That was from another open house, I think.
Yeah.
Already spoke to a buyer looking to buy in the next 30 days. That was another altogether, right? $1 million listing appointment from a Facebook ad for an open house, right? $1 million waterfront listing. In fact, I think he got that listing. I'll have to follow up with him on that. And then in this video, this is a second video. In this video, I walk you through how to do the ad and what are some of the things to watch out for so you don't get yourself into trouble. All right. It is so easy to do a Facebook ad with Listings to Leads that you can almost get yourself into trouble because it is so easy. So watch this video here. It's like 5 minutes long, 6 minutes long. And I just roll through doing a Facebook ad. And then lastly on this page, you're going to see the 10 commandments to a Facebook ad strategy. So I'm not going to go into this because we have a lot of things to cover, but it's right here for you. Again, listingstoleads.com/blog. Find these 2 posts right here. Read through them. I think this is like a master's degree education for you, both on open houses and Facebook ads.
Right. Sounds good.
All right. Are we good? Are Reels paid ads? No. So Jane, yeah. So the Reels, and that's what's so great about them. And the great thing about those Reels is they're going to capture people that are not necessarily actively looking for property, which are a lot of people. right? So a lot of people are not on Zillow every day. They're not getting listing alerts, but they want to buy a property. They just haven't started for whatever reason. And so,
Or they got tapped out.
yeah, or yeah, they just burn out, right?
Right,
They
exactly.
started
Yeah.
looking at some point, maybe a year ago, especially with COVID and the economy and everything that's going on, right? A lot of people are kind of in and out of the market. And so if we're not doing these kinds of activities, again, absolutely free, no money behind doing a reel, but it's a lot of opportunity to connect with people that may or may not have actively be looking at buying a property right now. And a
Yeah.
lot of these people have a home that they're going to be selling. Again, we talked about Gordon earlier. That's the second open house in about 3 weeks where he's got multiple buyers with properties to sell that he's now engaged with. So I think he's up to like 4 or 5, all right, in the last 3 weeks. So 5 buyers, 5 listings, right?
Yeah.
Opportunities from 2 open houses. Absolutely brilliant. So get to listingsleads.com. If you're not a client, sign up for a free trial. Everything we're going to talk about, you can do in a free trial. If you are a client, follow along with us, right? I like to do these kind of calls where we can actually do it together. So if you've got a second screen or you can watch on a phone or whatever it is going to be and do this with me, we can get some of this stuff done right now. And that
Right.
way, when it comes to tomorrow and the next day, you're already going to have a really good head start and be well on your way to having a lot of success with this.
If you've already identified a listing, did we talk about that? Like pick the right
No,
listing?
we didn't. But
Okay,
yes,
before we do any of that, let's focus on this for a few minutes.
yes. In fact, Kristen, thank you so much. I'm going to pin. So Kristen just put a link to that post and I pinned it to the top of the chat right here. So you can access it there. But again, at listingsleads.com/blog. So yeah, Yi, great idea. So the first thing, you're right. The first thing we should really talk about is, can I just do any home, right? Will any home be appropriate for this? And to that, I would say yes and no. So no, in the sense of you really want to make sure that the home you're going to hold open
Mhm.
is in the meat of the market, right? It's a term I like to say. I don't think I've heard that from too many people, but by meat of the market, what I mean is it's in a price point that has a lot of buyers and sellers. So don't go too high. Don't go for those really high ultra luxury listings. It can be
Mhm.
kind of fun to hang out in a beautiful home for a few hours, but if not too many buyers are coming through there, you know, are you really doing much at all? All right. And I
Right.
think a lot of people maybe at the super, super high end, may already have a agent that they're working with. So we want to go to that part of the market that has the most buyers and
Traffic.
sellers in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. We don't want to go too low either. And then you want to be careful. I try to avoid condos that are maybe there's a door person where people are going to have to, park a long way away. They're going to have to find the property and go through security and sign in that way. And then they got to sign in at the open house, right? By that time, they're already exhausted. Be careful of properties too far out.
Mhm.
Um, I don't like a lot of new construction where there's not a established neighborhood around it because I want to do an open house in an area where I can leverage the neighbors. Because,
Right.
if you think about it, when there's an open house and a property sells, there's always going to be one or two more homes selling in the next few months. And so I want to do it in an area that I can leverage that
Mhm.
neighborhood. Because when I use the nearby homeowner letter, when I do the open house and I got those signs out and I got the yard sign, if it's a new construction where, everybody's bought there in the last 2 to 3 years, well, there's probably not a lot of resales coming out of that. And so I
Yeah.
really want to leverage the open house to where I can get buyers and sellers from it.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
circle prospecting.
Yeah, right. I want to be able to circle prospect
Yeah.
maybe. And, can I really circle prospect around a property that's built, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And all the homeowners, have moved in since 2023, right? Circle prospecting is going to be kind of a waste of time on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So established neighborhood, good price point, easy to get to. And again, it doesn't have to be remodeled and picture perfect by no means, but it's just got to be a property that is, again, in the meat of the market where we have buyers and sellers that are potentially going to be people coming to the open house, people that are going to respond to the ad, respond to our marketing, and where we can also leverage the fact that there's other homes around it. that if we do it right, we're going to get more listings, just like Gordon did, that we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So, and if you have any questions, get into the mastermind group. I just made a post about open houses. Comment under that, and I'll be more than happy to talk that through with you a little bit. You can give me, you can even give me an address, and I can look it up, and I can tell you what I think about it if you want to, or if you have any other questions on this in the mastermind group. I got a post which I'll show you a little bit later, and we can form more conversations there around this.
Okay. So now that we have a listing, so what do we do next?
Yeah. And so again, if you don't have a listing, find a listing to market. All right. In your office, within your company, talk to your broker. If you're not sure how to do that, your broker would be more than your broker would be so excited, right? You know, an agent that doesn't have a listing, and you tell your broker you got this great marketing platform that's going to help you get buyers and sellers. Your broker is going to be so excited, and they're going to want to help you out and help you succeed with this. So don't be scared to just ask your broker if you need help with this as well.
Yeah, and there's a magic word in our system called grab. Grab a listing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Show
if the
them real
listing is
quickly
not
what that
yours,
is.
yeah. So if you click add listing and grab, so if you don't have the listing in your account already, so you know you're going to borrow a listing, yeah, use the add listing grab. And then right here, if you just type in the zip code and the MLS ID, uncheck that box right there, because that way we will auto, if you uncheck this and click grab, we'll bring the listing in, and we'll put listing courtesy of like Scott Pierce, L2L Realty. And that way we got you covered. We got everything set up for you just perfectly. Click grab. We'll bring that listing into your account. Now, if the listing is already in your account and you need to add the open house, let me refresh this right here real quickly. And I will show you. There we go. So if you don't have an open house yet, click over on the far right where it says add open house. Add your date. Adjust the time as appropriate. Click the green add open house button. It's going to reset that listing, and it's going to recycle, and it's going to pop back up again. And then you'll see here the open house indicator. And now when I click on market listing, instead of being just listed or active or whatever it was, it will now say open house mastery. You'll have the open house overview video. So this video will walk you through a lot of the tools and what to expect from it. Great little video there for you. We've got the checklist. So this will be the open house marketing checklist. So there's two checklists. Open house marketing. This is what we're going to do to get leads coming in and let people know about the open house. All right, so we're going to generate leads. We're going to generate visitors to the open house. And we're going to walk through this today. And there is a step-by-step guide. So this step-by-step guide right here, all it does is walk you through the items right here. So this column, this is the marketing column right here. When I click on the learn more, that is just a walkthrough, as if you and I were sitting next to each other and I was walking you through all of the stuff. So you're going to see a couple of things here. Let me scroll back up here. So this is an invitation to the call that we're on right now. A little bit of a summary, a little bit of a bonus, top 7 ways to get listings after your open house. So next Monday or next Tuesday, Monday is Memorial Day. So maybe next Tuesday, you look at this and you can generate more listings after the open house is over with. This is the webinar that we're on right now. A little bit of information about the open house sign-in form right here. In fact, you can click that and that'll show you what our open house sign-in form looks like, completely customizable. Add questions, edit questions. And the great thing about that is it actually offers a PDF guide for buyers to make it even more compelling.
Right.
Yep. And then if you just roll your way down this post here, it's in order of everything on that market listing checklist that we're going to do. So you can take a look at this. And again, this is not a support post per se. This is you and I are sitting together and you're asking me what to do and how to do it and why to do it. And then that is this right here. So you can go through here and, automate your follow-up, right? Make sure we connect to every CRM pretty much out there. So if your CRM is not connected to listings to leads, make sure you get that done. Or you can use our AI text follow-up. and our email follow-up as well. So we got great follow-up in listings to leads if you need it. But if you do have a CRM and you want those leads to go there, make sure you connect that. Get with our support if needed. And then it's just, we did the ads, the post, right? All these things I just mentioned, right? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, like we talked about earlier. And again, these are absolutely free. You can do the stories, you can do them as reels, TikToks, YouTube shorts, Facebooks, and you can include polls like you see here. See that right there? Add a poll, add links to the PDF guide so that we're not just promoting the open house, but we're helping educate our audience as well.
Yeah, you can link the PDF guides, link the 100 plus marketing plan to sell your property. All those are great.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things that you can do there. All right. So now you know where all the resources are to open house marketing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to just work our way down. So Facebook and Instagram ads. Again, it's going to drop in as a $35 lifetime budget for 1 week. And we're going to want to edit that. 35 is too low. 35 is there just because that's the downright minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So don't add any location unless you're going to add a lot more budget. The more locations you add, the bigger budget you need. Otherwise, Facebook will spread your ad way too thin. It won't get seen by people enough to get them to start really clicking on it. So just keep it as the standard location. We got special housing ad category redone. It's going to be a lifetime budget, but right here, change that to a minimum of $50. And if I'm doing an open house,
50, not 70.
Well, I'm doing 70.
Oh, you're doing 70.
50 is a minimum. So 35 is a minimum Facebook allows. 50 is a minimum that 50 is a minimum that you want, the minimum. But if you're doing an open house, you got the opportunity to meet people face to face. And when you've got everything set up the way I'm going to talk about in Mastery, you're going to get more buyers. You're going to get more buyers with homes to sell. You're going to meet more neighbors. And so I really want to promote this above and beyond a normal ad. And I'm telling you, we got people that are doing $100, $200 a week in Facebook ads per listing. Mm-hmm. So $70 to even $100 promoting your open house is not out of the line of reality.
This is the time I tell you, don't be frugal. Okay.
Yeah. And again, don't approach Facebook ads either individually or as a strategy with a dip your toes into the, to just trying it out.
Try it now.
Right? Trying it out where you do a small budget and you get some leads in and you don't do an ad and you do an ad in a couple of more weeks. That's like going to the gym like every 2 weeks and lifting 5-pound weights. All right. Yeah, you did it. But did you get any benefit? No, you didn't, because you didn't go enough. You didn't do enough. And it's the same with Facebook ads, right? Doing enough means you put money behind it, not $35, $50 minimum. And did you do enough of it? Well, that's doing it every single week, week in, week out. And you'll see more of that at the post that Kristen was nice enough to put that link in there. And you'll see a lot more on that there.
Yeah. And we have, what's our stats on average? Because our open house, like average cost per lead.
It's funny because open house leads typically come in just for a little bit more money than normal.
Okay.
So they come in about like anywhere from $350 to $450 per lead.
Okay, that's still really good.
Oh, it's still really good. Yeah. Now, some areas could be a little bit more. Some will be a little bit less. Like, for example, and just listed, active, coming soon. Those typically come in cheaper. Mm-hmm. But again, with an open house, you've got the opportunity to be with people face to face. And, 2 of those buyers with a home to sell, he met them at the open house, because it is at the open house I can talk with you, get to know you, provide more value, right? Maybe I walk you through my 100-point home marketing plan while you're at the open house, and you're like, holy crap, man, this guy, he's got an amazing open house. He's got an amazing marketing plan to sell homes, right? He's an amazing agent. Well, it takes longer to get to that point when you're not face to face with people. So
and Facebook is and also don't forget, Facebook is a smart robot, right? If you do very little budget, it's not gonna get to where you need to be. It's like half tank gas. You're not gonna get top of the hill.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. So with that, I'm going to click create ad, get the ad out the door again, name, email, phone number, and purchase time frame with every lead.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have some sort of AI follow up or really dialed in follow up, I highly recommend sign up for our listings to leads AI text follow up. Can you check out and see if we did the half off on that? Or
Okay.
Cindy, I see you're on the call. Have you checked that, Cindy? Did we do the half off? I can't believe I didn't check on that yet. I think we did. And if we didn't, I will talk with my team because I asked them to do that last week. So that should have been done on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh my God, not yet. RE, can you make sure that we get that done today?
Yeah. Yes.
That should have been done on Friday, so I apologize. All right. Now, social media post, right? This is just a social media post, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google, X. This will happen automatically typically, but if not, you can just click post now or schedule it to post. And this is a post where people will see it. They're going to click. You're not going to get a lot of leads from it, but it's good so that people that are in our Facebook, on our Facebook page, see that we have an open house because they may not see the ad, but they may more likely see the post. And ends June 30th. So it is there. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. Awesome. All right, Cindy, it is there. If you don't see it for whatever reason, that might just be your cache. So maybe refresh the browser and ping me if you don't, and I'll check your account. We'll see. All right. So here's my open house post. So again, that's not going to generate a ton of leads. Right. The ad is what's going to generate leads. Next up, share on seller social media. So make sure you get this done, right? Eric Pearson, the broker of Pearson Smith Realty out of the East Coast in the Virginia area, over 1,000 agents as a single agent when he first started in real estate, got into listings to leads. This was one of his favorite tools because it really helped him leverage the seller sphere of influence. And what you're going to do is click send to seller, add the seller's email and salutation right there. You're going to click send and send that to the seller.
Mm-hmm.
While you're here, you can do the e-flyer as well. In fact, you know what Eric said? He goes, oftentimes the seller would actually CC him on those emails
Yeah.
so that he would have, so he would get the entire list of all the sellers. You know what I would do? If the seller did that, I would email as well and just say, want to make sure everybody knows that the open house is 2 to 4 on Sunday and all of you are invited. Super, right? Almost like just super low key on that. I don't want to make a big deal about it. But that way, because the seller could very well come back and go, yeah, everybody get over there, right? And invite everybody that to the open house.
Right.
Now, when these emails get to the seller, you're going to be CC'd. And what I want you to do is call the seller up. And essentially, you're going to say, hey, this is Scott. I want to let you know that we got the open house coming up. It's on Zillow. It's on Trulia. It's on Realtor.com. I got a Facebook ad that should be live shortly. It's all over our social media accounts. And I sent you a couple of things to share, one via email to people that you know, and something else to post to Facebook, because in this crazy market, you likely know people who know people that want to move to the area. And I don't want to leave any stones unturned to get your home sold. And especially again with Memorial Day weekend coming now, any weekend. But I'm thinking Memorial Day weekend, you could even say, hey, there's probably friends and family coming into town. And, some of them could be looking to buy in the area. And so if we can make sure that everybody that knows that we're having that open house, we could very well even get more people than you'd have imagined to this open house and get more buyers in here. So definitely make sure you take advantage of those two tools. The nearby homeowner letter, this right here is the best neighbor invite. So take this. Now for an open house, I like to door knock.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
gonna,
Yeah. Because you're not going to have time to mail it and they receive it in time for the open house. So the best thing to do is print them up, get to Amazon, buy these what do you call it, clear bags. You can put this thing in it, then you can door knock. If they're not home, then you can hang them, in the front door.
Yep, exactly right. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right there. So you can see this right here. So buy these kind of bags right here if you're going to door knock, and that way, again, you can trifold that letter and put it on the door handle if the people aren't
Door
home.
handle bags.
Like
Yeah.
$10, and they actually give like 110 to 120 of them. At least that's what happened with me when I ordered one of these.
Yeah.
So absolutely worth it. It's going to make the presentation of that flyer for people that are not home much, much nicer. All right. So now, if you're doing a neighborhood preview, this does sit in an editor. So the download is right there. But if I click there, it says edit. And if you are doing a neighborhood preview, you'll see here, we're having I can edit right in the letter, a neighborhood only preview open house at, and I could change Sunday and say Dustin would do Friday. He would do like, I don't know what time, but he'd always do a Friday
46.
neighborhood preview,
46.
4 to 6.
Yeah.
And now when I click download PDF, now if you're not doing a neighborhood preview, no problem. Just invite them to the standard open house. And now here you can see, right? In fact, I'm going to hold on one second. I'm going to fix that real quickly. Just, when I do the formatting, I like it to be a little bit more even, but either way is fine. So the key is get this to the neighbors around that listing. There we go. A little bit nicer there. So now we're just inviting them to a neighborhood only preview open house on Friday from 4 to 6. Absolutely awesome. The neighbors are going to see it. They're going to be able to scan the QR code. They could text it right there and you'll get the phone number immediately. They can go to the website and see all of your great marketing for the property right here. So if you got videos, you got your 3D tours, right? You got the open house countdown clock on our single property website. Absolutely beautiful. And so, yeah, get that letter to all the neighbors. And then it lets them know that when this home is sold, it's going to affect their home value. And
Right,
they can get their home value right here. So you're gonna get seller leads. You're gonna get people calling you. You're gonna get sellers sending a text, scanning the QR code, and even coming to the open house with that letter in hand. So make sure you get that done. We've also got postcards and door hangers. Not so appropriate for the open house, I don't think. I would use the letter all day long. If you've got phone numbers, so if you're gonna pull a list to door knock, or even, let's just say I door knock 100 homes with the nearby home in a letter. If you've got Redex or
mailbox.
what's the other one? My Plus Leads, and there's others as well. If you're able to pull a list of neighbors, circle prospect. All right, call the neighbors up and invite them to the open house. So there's a version if you sent them a letter or postcard, and a version if you didn't. I would just use this one for all of them, and I would call through 50, 100, 150 homes around that open house and invite them to the open house, right? Be of service, right? You're not bothering them. This is a property right near them. So I would think it'd be completely worth it, right? Pull a list, right? Redex, My Plus Leads. There's others as well that I'm blanking on right now. But yeah, pull that list, skip trace it against the DNC, and invite them to the open house. It's a phenomenal script, and you'll get more people to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. If you do that to make that investment even better, you're able to call them after the open house remember the 7 ways to generate seller leads after the open house? Well, one of them is to circle prospect after the open house about how the open house went, about how only one person can buy the house, need all these people come through. And I generated, 55 leads the week leading up to the open house. So we have a lot of great buyers for this neighborhood. People love the neighborhood. And I just want to let you know about that. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. So just keep in mind, you've got a lot of opportunity after the open house to leverage these investments that you're making to generate more seller leads. Another item on that. I'm sorry.
Remember you said about post open house video?
Mm-hmm.
You can send that with the that list. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you can do I want everyone to do a video text to the open house visitors, right? That's use a sign-in form, but also want you to do an open house video after the open house, or a short form video after the open house, letting everybody know how it went.
Right.
All right. So then we're going to do our database. So our database, one of the most important business assets that we've got, we're going to take this e-flyer. Now, if you've got your leads in listings to leads, I can just click send now, and I can invite them, right? I can just say, send it to all. And I would send it to both buyer and sellers. Again, I want all of my seller, all of my homeowner leads, whether they're in KV Core, Lofty, or listings to leads. I want all of them invited to my open house. I want all of them to come and see me so I can be face to face and talk with them.
Right.
So I'm going to invite all the leads in my database, or I can click copy code right here, copy code, go to Follow Up Boss or whatever CRM or program that you're using. And then Follow Up Boss, just navigate to where you're going to send out the email, click insert. And I'm going to click replace. And I've already did the subject line ahead of this. And now I've got the great email. So I got the slideshow of the open house. Right, we're inviting our entire database to the open house. And again, we're letting them know that once this open house is done, or once the listing is sold, it will affect their home value. And they can click here and they go to a what's your home worth landing page to get a home value. But we wanted to do two things. I want to send an email to my leads, all of them. And then I'm going to call up. And I'm going to call up maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 of my leads. And if I'm doing a neighborhood preview, I might invite my database to that neighborhood preview as well, in addition to the public open house. So either way you're going to do that, I want you to be, I want you to think of yourself as like, Saks Fifth Avenue, Goldman Sachs, right? You're the agent, right? You are the agent, and the superstar is at home. And your goal is to get more people bidding on that home, just like a Hollywood agent would get more people bidding for their client, right? The superstar client that they've got, for that movie role coming up, and they want to get their client $10 million. Well, the way they do that is they create a bidding war with other studios and other projects that they got that are going on, and trying to get their client right in all of these projects, so that the project that the client want, they're going to get $10 million for that project. And that's what you want for this property. So to not call through your database, to not create a bit of FOMO, to create a bit of urgency about
Frenzy.
this property, you're
Yeah.
missing out.
Right.
What's that?
Frenzy. I want to create a little bit of like,
Yeah. So
urgency. Yeah.
between the nearby homeowner letter and circle prospect in the neighborhood, between the invite to our database and calling through our database, between the ad and the post that we're doing, my gosh, we've already got hopefully 200 to 300 people that we're going to be engaging, either as leads or people coming through the open house, or at least people that are seeing and getting to know us more, even if it's not this open house that they come in on, it might be the second or third one that we do. So again, keep in mind that we are laying the groundwork for both short-term, medium-term, and long-term business success. So don't forget your database.
We have about 12 minutes left on the hour.
I can't believe how fast these calls go.
So we need to look at what we need to cover.
I know. Yeah, exactly right. So, this is no problem. We're going to keep it to an hour today, and I will point you in the right direction. And I want you to get into the mastermind group, and there we can continue this conversation. I will hold your hand as much as possible through the mastermind group. So if there's any question about anything, get in there. I will reply back to you, and I will make sure that you're going to start having the same kind of success Gordon did. Because again, it may not be the first or even the second open house that you do, but it might be the third one. When, like as Gordon said, what was he said? He goes, the other day he goes, I can feel the momentum really building up now. Right. And it doesn't happen in 1 or 2 weeks. It happens because we do this kind of activity week in and week out. And as we start building up our branding and the leads that are coming in and the conversations that were happening, more and more the good conversations start happening. You start getting those 20-minute conversations that make you feel happy, right? Like I said, when I looked at this, I just absolutely loved it. Right. Still making calls, enjoying the day. And this is all from this afternoon. This is all from today. This is not from 2 months ago or a year ago. This is from literally within the last 4 to 5 hours. Right. $1 to $2 million off another ad, right? And I love that. So nice. Just
Yeah.
so nice.
We're trying to get you to that point where you actually enjoy every conversation, every phone call,
Yeah.
and it brings food.
Well, and even to where when you have the bad conversations, that it doesn't bother you
That
because
doesn't
now
bother you, right?
hey, some are going to just yell at me and hang up on me and tell me they didn't click that ad. And that's what kind of can happen when you don't have enough activity. All right. When you spend $35 on an ad once in a while, that's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff you get. You get that negative energy. But when you start spending money and you start doing these actions on a week in and week out basis, you start having more of those conversations that make you happy to actually make the calls, because you're going to start learning I can have better conversations, and the conversations that go nowhere, they don't bother me because I know there's another deal right on the other side of the phone somewhere coming up very soon. All right. Short form video script. This is one that you should do probably twice this week. You're
Mm.
going to take this script, send it to yourself. If you're logged in on a laptop, if you're on your phone, you can just copy and paste this into the teleprompter app, word for word, paraphrase it, use it as inspiration, but do a couple of the videos where you're in the video, hopefully. Right? If you're not too shy and not too nervous about it, nobody cares how you look. All they care is that you show up. All right. All they care is that you are there to be of service and help them through buying or selling a property in this case. So yeah, use the script. It's a phenomenal script. We're going to talk about the open house. We're going to invite them to it. We're going to let them know a little bit about the property. And then we're also going to then flip it and let people know that when this home is sold, local home values are going to change. So if you'd like to get your free home value estimate now, you can DM or comment or go to, and everybody gets a custom URL, a very simple custom URL like this. Mine is california.freehomevalues.net. You've got one yourself in your listings to leads account. Or again, you can say like DM or comment below and engage not just home buyers, but home sellers.
Right.
I'm going to skip the single property website and virtual tour. Let me mention the open house sign-in form. So this is the online, the paper QR code. You can add questions to it. You can customize questions. I can reorder questions. So you can see here, add new question. You got short answers, paragraph, checkbox, radio button, drop down. So you can type in the question, type in all the appropriate responses. You can add it, and then you can turn them off, turn them on. And a really cool thing about this sign-in form is people click. So here, are you interested in off-market coming soon pocket listings? Yes, I am. What's your time frame to buy? 1 to 3 months. Realtor's name. I don't have a realtor. I reviewed all related disclosures. Yes. Okay, great. Continue. Now here, look at this. Name, email, phone number. Automatically, they're going to get the PDF guide, 6 things to check before buying a home, along with the e-flyer for that property. So they're going to get the e-flyer for the property, the PDF guide, and they could literally be walking around that open house reading the guide right on their phone, and you have more conversations with them. So absolutely awesome right there. You got
Can you
listing
show
flyer.
before we get into can you show the clear display?
I'm sorry.
The
Oh,
clear display.
these right
Yeah.
here.
So what you need to really bring to the open house.
Yeah. So there's a PDF guide section right here. But of course, I'm showing the 100% home marketing plan. All right. So we've got 40 different PDF guides for homeowners, home sellers, and 40 for home buyers. And so what I recommend is, and there's print flyers for all of them, print a couple of them up. So here is one. Can you see that? There we go.
25 insider
25.
secrets on home buying. Yeah.
Yep. And there's a QR code.
QR code. Yeah.
And so have this sitting at the open house. Have 1 or 2 for buyers, have 1 or 2 for sellers, and invite them to scan the QR code to download these guides, because it's just more opportunity for you to add value, to educate your audience, and really help people become more comfortable with the whole process. All right. Be more comfortable with you, that you're just not trying to sell them, right? That you're actually educating them along with this process. It's a world of difference between the average agent. And so far, you've really spent not a lot of money. I mean, if you print the letter at your home, maybe that costs 10 to 20 bucks, right? The sign writer, that's a one-time fee of like 20 bucks. So
Yeah.
this is right. I want this on top of my yard sign. All right, this is on top. I want this there ASAP. So all the homeowners know you got an open house coming up. And then if you can, and if you've seen our training before, you'll know that yard sign should have a clear plastic flyer box. You can put the listing flyers in it. All right, the listing flyers have QR codes, text codes on them. So you're going to generate leads off the off the listing flyers. You're going to generate leads off the sign writer like this one. So get that on that yard sign ASAP. If you don't have this, if you haven't ordered your sign writer yet, you may be able to do it with a local sign writer company. Just give them your text code. I don't like QR codes on sign writers. This is the one I would use because I just want that text part as big as possible. I want people to send a text. That way I get their phone number automatically.
Right.
Yeah. So make sure you do that. Now, these other tools aren't so relevant for an open house. So we're going to skip that because we got 5 minutes left. So you're going to do all the marketing between now and your open house. If you're doing a neighborhood preview, schedule that. And again, make sure you use the nearby homeowner letter and the circle prospecting, both for the homes around that open house and for your database. I want you to invite all of these people. Imagine if you had a neighbor preview and call like a neighborhood VIP preview, and the
Right.
database people are your VIPs.
Mm-hmm.
You could have 100 people. You could easily have 100 people at that open house. That
Yeah.
I'm talking about the neighbor preview. How crazy would that be? All right. And
It
Jane,
reminds.
because I'm a new realtor, so I don't have access to. Jane, you got access to all of this. Yeah. So that's a perfect kind of a question to get into the mastermind group with. You've got access to all of this. All right. Unless you're with a small independent of 2 agents, right? What company are you with? You should, if you're with a brokerage, I'm sure you got a listing.
Well,
Or I'm sorry, I'm sure there's an agent in your office. Now you may not be able to borrow a listing for Memorial Day weekend, just because maybe seller doesn't want to do an open house this weekend, especially if it's not their own listing agent. But talk to your broker and find out. Just say, hey, I got a great way to generate buyers and sellers from open houses. How can I borrow a listing from somebody in the office here to hold open either this coming weekend or the weekend after? And if you can't do it this weekend, that's fine. Then just start kind of preparing for the week after with what activities that you'll have to do so that when next Monday comes, you're hitting the ground running. Yeah. Oh, West USA. Come on. Right. You're in Arizona, right? That's a big company,
company.
right? West USA is all over Arizona. Jane, talk to your broker. All right, get into the mastermind group, ask the right questions, or just ask me. And but the first thing I want you to do, Jane, is tomorrow morning talk to your broker and say, hey, can you help me find an open house to hold open either this weekend or next weekend with somebody in the office? Because I got a great way to generate buyers and sellers, and your broker is going to love you. Your broker is going to be like,
I
this
love
is the kind of
proactive.
agent
Yeah.
that I want.
Proactive agents.
Yeah, well, Jane says, "Oh, I get listings. It's the names, addresses, and phone numbers." Well, you can do that through like something like RedX. Your title officer may be able to help you, right? My Plus Leads, you can get all that stuff from. So yeah, that's no problem. There's none of this. Everyone on this call can do all of this. All right. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Again, get into the mastermind group if you have more questions or need more clarification on any of this, because there's no reason that you can't do all of this. All right. Click marketing calendar, presentations, open house mastery. And after this is part 2 of this call that we're not going to have time to go through today, but open house mastery. And Jane, this might be good for you. This walks you through how to conduct the open house. It'll talk a little bit more in detail about how to borrow listings and making sure that you get the right listing, because I don't want you to waste your time on a listing that's not going to help convert buyers and sellers for you. Right? Again, I can do a new construction listing or a listing in an area and get some buyer leads, probably no problem. But I really want to get listings and buyers from that open house, and so I want to get the most bang for the buck. I really
Mhm.
do. Right. So again, we're not going to walk through this entire thing, but this will walk you through how to conduct that open house so that you are engaging the people that come through. Because Gordon, right, when we talked about how he got 2 buyers with properties to sell,
Right.
that doesn't just happen by him standing around, like 99% of agents do at an open house. That
Right. Right.
happens because he went through this. All right. Remember, I talked about I can't do one-to-ones with every single person, but I got a few people that I do, and they have phenomenal success.
Yeah.
So go
And
through
when you
this.
first do it, you probably don't even know how to carry a conversation or make it interesting. But as you do it more and more, you just become more confident. You
Yep.
know the right things to say to the right people.
Yep. And in this presentation right here, there are scripts in here. There are
Mhm.
emails in here. There's some of the post open house ways to generate seller leads. This right here is a quick overview of what we just went through. So this is the open house marketing that we literally just walked through. So this should look familiar to everybody, right? Sign writer, listing flyer, e-flyer for your database. Right? We're going to invite our database. We're going to do the short form videos. We got the open house sign-in form. Talked about a neighborhood exclusive, right? So I go into the details here. So I really don't want any questions outstanding with you by the time you get done with this, and based on what we just covered. All right. So again, like here's the script, right? So when you're going to call your database or you're going to circle prospect, this is a great script right here to invite people to that neighborhood preview. We're
Mm.
going to have the homeowner post on Nextdoor to get even more of the neighbors into our open house. So yeah, go through this presentation again. It's in your Listings to Leads account. It is under the marketing calendar and then presentations. And you'll see it here, right? We're going to invite our database, and you are going to start having the kind of success Gordon does. And again, I don't care if you started real estate yesterday. You can do this, and you can start getting buyers and sellers working with you. All
We
right.
have
Any
so many.
last minute questions before we go? I really
Yeah.
want to try to keep this to an hour. All right. And we'll do a better job of marketing this to everybody next time so we get more people on this call. I know we didn't even tell anybody until today about it, but that is okay. All right. Everybody good to go?
Oh, I
So
get that
Cindy says,
listing.
so Cindy, when you say 50 leads, 99 a month, what is that?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah, yeah.
the
Okay. Perfect.
AI text follow-up. Yeah.
Yes. So is that half off? I don't even know. I think it's half off. Do you know the pricing, E?
Um, I thought 50. Yes, I have to check. I don't want to
Yeah,
say the
I
wrong
think
thing.
that's half off though. And so it's
Yeah, because
not
we
50
started with 10
leads.
conversations,
Yes,
right?
50 conversations. And
Okay,
if it's
with
a
10
bad or wrong phone number, then that doesn't count. So it's only 50 good
conversations.
phone
Yeah.
numbers. And you should be able to get out of 50, we're seeing about a 10% qualification rate. So
More
you
than
should be able to
10,
get,
yeah.
or five. Yeah, so 10%, that would be five. So I would go through that. Um, you can turn off the conversation. And here's the deal, with every single lead that you get, the best way to convert them is to send a video text message as quickly as possible to their phone number. And I would use the AI text. As you're out, you're running around, you're in a listing presentation, you're out doing a showing, you're with your kids, taking them to school. You don't have time to respond to every single lead that comes in. And that is where the AI text follow up is so awesome, because it's going to be there when you're not. But as soon as you're able to respond to a lead with a video text message, I would turn off the AI text, send a video text message, and then you got to do what you got to do for the follow up, right? Whether it's a 3x3, a 2x2, but you got to be calling and texting and emailing those leads until
Yeah.
you get a hold of them. All right. Listings to leads makes generating leads easy and cost effective, but the follow up is still there. So again, use the AI text as your initial entry point into that lead. But as quickly as possible, send a video text message, and you're going to see a lot more conversion.
Yeah. Also, our email text follow-up is very, very effective as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, that was a price last week before you offered. Oh, okay. All right. Well, Cindy, what I'll do, I will get into the mastermind group right after we hang up here. I will go check it, and I will leave a comment under the open house post, whether the half off is if that's the half off or not. So that way you'll know for sure. And if somebody signs up and it's not half off and it's half off tomorrow, we'll refund the difference. No problem. I don't want you to think, well, I can't sign up right now because I'm not sure. Go
Yeah,
ahead and sign up
we'll
for it if you want
accommodate it.
to. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll prorate it. We'll figure it out. We'll make you right. Right. We're going to make you right. We're not going to take, I'm not here to take your money.
we
What I'm
just wanted
here
to
to
succeed.
do is get you success.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. In
Thank you
fact,
so
one
much
more
for the
thing.
1 hour. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So in the
So
mastermind group,
making sure you whatever you need to do, okay, starting tomorrow, because Monday is already end of it now, get the listing you need and start looking at the checklist that Scott created. Starting Tuesday, what you need to do, just follow that step by step and get a really effective open house starting this weekend.
and don't push open houses in the mastermind group. Oh my God. All right. The mastermind group is not for posting open houses, but this post right here, I leave comments, ask questions. I will comment under this regarding the AI text, and we'll go from there. And I want to see all of you having the best open house you've ever had this coming weekend and next weekend. And so with that, thank you everybody for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.